Hello everybody and welcome to Map the Railways, and today I'm going to be preventing derailments, well at least trying to. With a soldering iron and some solder, I'm going to try and solder in the larger joints, or the joints that cause the most common derailments on the layout. So for fun, I've opened the gates on the crossing and I've put a bus down for fun, you know, as a rail replacement service. So yeah, with the help of my rust and pulling the solder about, I'm going to be soldering some track. So to start off, there's this little niggle in the track here. Goliath's pony truck derails over it. It's mainly Goliath at lower speeds with a nice little freight train, but I'd like to run at slower speeds. You know, I like sitting there for hours running trains at slow speeds. I find it quite fun. So yeah, I need to be able to do that with Goliath because she's a very good slow runner. So yeah, there's that niggle. Then there's this little niggle. It seems to derail wagons sometimes, going anti-clockwise. I think it just depends on what wagon and stuff, but it doesn't look like much, but it's enough to derail a wagon for some reason. It doesn't happen all the time, but it would be nice to help prevent that derailment happening as well. Then on to the worst bit of track work in this video. Yeah, big gap, and this is for, it's meant to be rough, a little rough industrial siding, but it's too rough, that little join. And basically I have to go quite fast, if not derailments occur quite often. So yeah, that needs sorting out so I can prevent derailments. I will show you now a clip of the Ruston pushing a little wagon and derailing on that bit. Yeah, so it happens a lot. So as you can see, there's the little niggle there, and the Ruston's got an old Hornby Double wagon with my solder on it to help out. And you see the soldering iron, so all I need to do now is plug in the soldering iron, wait for it to heat up, and just go for it. So I will be quite silent when doing it because I'll be concentrating. It's only this little bit here that needs the work, not the other side because that's very well joined up. So yeah, it's just that one little bit, and we shall see if it works. So right, I've just managed to melt some solder on the end, so let's try it out. I don't mind if I damage any scenery. Right, let's see how that is. I'll just wipe it off with a damp sponge. And I'm going to unplug it so it turns off and just leave it to cool. And then I'll check the track and see how that is. So there's my handiwork close up, and it's got a bit of a bump to it. So I'm going to get a little file and file it down and try and make it flush with the track. So yeah, so file time. So that is actually looking a lot better. I've just filed it down. There's a tiny bump to it, nothing actually major, so yeah, that's perfect. And no signs of derailments when I tested the wagons over it. And I will run some trains and see how it comes out in the end. And yeah, so it's time to go on to the next one, and I think that next one's going to have to be where Goliath derails, and you may see Goliaths on there to test it when it's done. So now it's time to plug it in again, and I shall solder that one. I will not show all the filing again because, you know, it's the whole same thing over and over again. It's a bit of repetition, but I will show soldering it. Right, so it's up to heat. Doesn't take too long to heat up, and it's time to solder a joint. Finally, so dry it off on the sponge and unplug it. And and leave it to cool as usual, then file over, give it an inspection, and if you're curious, I'm going to plug in the layout after and test trains over these joints, and if it doesn't work, it's just a matter of heat up the soldering iron and just take off all the solder, or maybe even try again. So yeah, that's that one done, and I will show you it after it's all filed and that, and then go on to the next bit. So there you go. It seemed easier, but come out a little bit worse. But it's not to spread connection, it's just to, you know, help prevent derailment, so it should do for now. So the ruston doesn't have to move. I've just plugged the soldering iron in, and it's time to heat up the soldering iron and put some solder in this side here. As you may be able to notice, this video is only filling in one side of rail, where one side's connected and one hasn't. The only reason this little bit here is so bad is because it's made out of small curves, and I was trying to fit it in because if you notice in past videos, there's a station platform just up there, and I had to try and squeeze it all in so nothing would scrape the platform. I know long coaches will, but wagons are perfectly fine. Right, the soldering iron's ready, and as you may notice, there's a bit of baseboard and platform and that missing, and it's just to give myself some extra space. So yeah, on to the soldering, which is great fun. So my head will probably get in the shot of this. There we go, that's made a nice solid lump of solder ready for me to file. Yeah, that's done, so it's file it down and put the scenery back, and unplug the soldering iron. There's one thing that I would have preferred this soldering iron to have, and that is a on-off switch on the handle or on the cord, because it's just a matter of plug it in and it's on. So yeah, that's all that done. Time to file it down, and then it's time to test trains on it and see if I've done a good job or not. So there's my handiwork close up. Yeah, I haven't been able to file down the sides, but it's flush on the top of the rail, and I've ran a wagon over it, quite light one, and it seems to run over almost perfectly. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. So now I've put the scenery back, plugged the transformers in, and now it's time to run some trains and check that it's all fine. So I set Goliath off, and no matter what, if it works or fails, I will put it in. So that's just above half speed. Oh. Yep, still derailing. Right, time for take two, and I've given it another file down only a little bit, and we shall see. Oh, that was fine. Oh, that might be paint on the track, and plus Goliath hasn't ran for a while. Yeah, but she made it over the point perfectly fine, so I'm gonna run her a little bit and just keep testing her over that point. Well, I've tried Goliath over quite a few times now, and there's no signs of derailment, so yeah, it needed that tiny little bit of filing, and now it's perfectly fine. So that's one fixed. So now it's onto the siding. Here is where you need to focus on. I've got the ruston with wig and coal and the wagon that derailed last time, and let's just test it over. Yeah, that ran fine, didn't it? I know she stalled, but that was on a different track. But there you go. Seems perfectly fine. So that's another joint fixed. And finally, it's time to focus on the first joint I done, which is just here, just to mark it out in alignment to the hut. And got the ruston with a small freight train on it. So off we go. Going at a nice steady pace. Oh, and a stall. There you go. The ruston's not the fastest, is she? But she did stall on that joint, so I'm just gonna quickly check. Is she fine? So I'll just quickly do this. yeah, it's perfectly fine. So let's reverse the train for fun as well. There we go. I got some trains running in this video. Couldn't help myself, plus it's a good demonstration. To end off, that's that one fixed. That one there fixed. And that one you can't even see fixed. Yeah, that has come out really well. You can't even see it on camera. So yeah, very happy with that. Thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do leave a like. Comment down below if you've got your own methods of helping prevent derailments. Probably putting your track together properly like I didn't on this layout. I have on my other layout, so you know, you got to learn. If you found this helpful or useful, just say down below in the comments, you know. And please share this with your friends. Sharing is caring and it helps grow the channel further. And most importantly, please do consider subscribing. Helps grow the channel massively. So yeah, thanks for watching and I shall see you all next time. Cheerio for now.